Hey, welcome to another edition of The Next Step. I'm your host, James Ellis. How you doing? So thrilled you could be here. Look, I just flew in from RecFest this morning, BOAC, and that is a joke for either really old people or people whose parents were hippies. If you really like a deep Beatles cut, there you go. Literally flew in this morning from Nashville after 2 days of RecFest. I am stunned I have any voice whatsoever. I have some notes. I know normally we talk about AI and here's one little thing you can do with it. And still going to keep doing some of that stuff. But after seeing 2 days of RecFest, I have a lot of thoughts in this AI talent acquisition employer brand space that I think are completely appropriate for the next step. So first off, if you didn't get a chance to go, I'm sorry, that sucks. It's a great event. It just keeps getting bigger. Pros and cons, sure, but that's true of every event that gets big. But it still remains the singular event in North America of this type, right? You've got your big name ballroom shows, and then there's RecFest, which is a whole different thing. And I'm going to tell you right now, I know a bunch of people, and I saw a bajillion people, and now I'm looking on my LinkedIn feed and finding all these people who were there and I never saw. It's that big an event. It's really kind of huge. If you saw my partner in crime, Audra Knight, and I host a stage all day on day 2, and you thought, there's a smart, go-getting, passionate, energetic, leaves it all on the stage, getting people pumped for what's happening kind of speaker, I wonder what it would be like if I brought him to my stage. And well, gosh, what a great question. I would love to help you understand that. Yes, I would love to come to your company, to your event, and talk about employer branding or talk about talent strategy, in case you need some fuel for your talent strategy. Just a thought. I mean, it's just a thought. Sorry, parched. Anyway, so here's what my takeaways from RecFest are. It's, first off, if you don't know, it's 4 different stages this year. I think it was 4 stages last year, 3 the first year. 2-day event, a lot of stuff. They try to keep the sessions relatively short, 25 and 30 minutes long. What's interesting is that there's no kind of main stage. If you go to the UK event, there's a main stage where they try to bring headliner type people in, and there's a lot of satellite stages. This was 4 stages, roughly the same size, with all sorts of different conversations around talent acquisition and operations and employer branding and technology and strategy and all sorts of wonderful stuff. And this is not just, because there's no way I could have seen all those sessions. There was a lot of stuff I missed. I was, planted in one stage for all of day 2 because I was hosting with Audra, and we saw some great stuff. There's some great presentations, some great panels. But the thing I'm coming away with, actually a couple of things I'm coming away with. The first is that, yes, AI, obviously AI, but the number of people who, how do I put this? They're so defensive about AI, or they're so kind of like, AI, or I know you're scared about AI, or, there was a speaker on our stage who said, okay, I'm going to make a joke about how, don't worry, I don't talk about AI. And I said, literally, anybody who isn't talking about AI makes that same joke. You really don't need to. I think it's kind of a played out joke. It's the same joke of 1 year here is like 7 years someplace else. You're like, it's one of those jokes. You're like, okay, we get it. We've heard it 7,000 times. Please move on. There are companies and there are organizations and there are systems that are very AI driven, and those companies, organizations, systems are very happy to tell you that they're AI driven. Sadly, they don't give you a lot of detail around what AI means to them or what it looks like. And since we're all using the same 7 LLMs anyway, I'm not sure what it means to say you're using the best LLM or the best AI, and if that's really a thing, right? It's like saying we have the best electricity, we have the best water, water on our water fountains. Okay, we all have it. We all have access to these things. But anyway, that's a separate thing. There was a lot of organizations that didn't want to talk about AI, and I got the sense that on a lot of levels, they thought that people would be like, oh, good, thank goodness, one less thing about AI. And I would push back on that and say, why is that a concern? Look, it's 2025. It's AI time. It's AI o'clock. Okay, let's just call it. It is a thing. You can't hide from it. And there are companies who are hiding it from it, and they might as well be hiding from electricity and the internet, right? They might as well be hiding from these things that are simply the truth, these things that we all have access to. And one of the things I noticed is that because of the audience they're speaking to, mostly recruiting leaders, recruiters, especially, sourcing specialists, employer branders, there is a sense that we talk about AI as over there. It's this thing over there that we keep at arm's length because it's scary and it's going to take our jobs, and that's bad. And we don't know what to do with that information. And I get that. I get that. And if you don't embrace AI, if you think of it as a tool and you think it's a tool that's going to wipe you out, yeah, you're going to stick your head in the sand. Of course you are. Of course you are. It's a completely human response. But because we're in TA and because our budgets are very often determined by other people, right? Did you pick your ATS or did your HR team? I wonder. Just a thought. Your models and systems and the tools you use every day, yeah, you get to pick a handful of them and usually the smaller ones. But for the most part, your budget numbers and your big tools are determined outside your control, right? I know a lot of TA leaders who say things like, we're trying to change our ATS, but HR is getting in the way. You're thinking, HR doesn't use your ATS. No, but HR uses a system that has an ATS that integrates really, really well. And so it would be so much easier for HR if you would use their crummy ATS instead of finding one that's better. So consequently, there's a lot of pressure for you to not change, for you to stick with what someone else has already chosen for you. So we don't get a chance to make big decisions like this. We can't really kind of sketch our own map and choose our own destiny in a lot of ways, which is really unfortunate. Part of that is that, well, we say, okay, well, we have to, if we're thinking about AI and we think about it something over there, we only let it in as part of a larger idea, right? We won't spend $20 a month to get ChatGPT or Perplexity or Claude or whatever to do some pretty cool stuff. See the last 20 some episodes of this podcast. But we will spend $60,000, $80,000, $120,000 on a big system that has AI in it. And well, we bought the system, so I guess we should use the AI, which seems really strange to me. It seems like buying the wrong thing. It's like choosing the car based on what kind of clock it's got. That seems really arbitrary. And I think if you're going to use AI, you should understand that AI is not a tool. It's a skill. It is a thing you learn how to use. It is a thing you learn to grapple with. It is a thing you go, how can I apply this idea, or how can I apply these technologies to my problem right now to make this better? And when I say make it better, I mean things like make it faster, make it go away, make the performance infinitely better, more obvious. Like, how do I use it to achieve better results? And that is a conversation that we don't hear enough of. We hear AI in terms of making my job postings look nicer. Every once in a while, I hear it in terms of automating some of the emails that go out. Really kind of low-level stuff that we could have done 2 and 3 years ago when ChatGPT was first coming out. But now, as you've seen in these previous episodes, AI does a lot more than just generate content for you, make pretty words. It's really helping you take actions. Again, I will say, don't ever let it make decisions for you. That's a horrible idea. And honestly, letting an AI make decisions for you is the fastest way to obviate yourself out of a job and out of the industry as a whole, because, well, what if the AI is making decisions? What do we need you for? And we want you. I want you to be here. I want you to be part of this. We want your expertise, your value, your skill set, your perspective on this stuff. And we cannot abdicate that to AI. We cannot. However, pretending AI doesn't exist or pretending AI is over there is a fast track to obsolescence. I said it. I meant it. Here we are. We're still friends, but I want you to win. That's the thing. I'm saying this not to go, aha, you're screwed. I'm saying it to say, look, you got to embrace the unknown, embrace change. Otherwise, unknown and change is going to come for you fast. There's not going to be a lot left, and I don't want that for you. The other thing that's really interesting, and I think it's connected to this AI conversation, is the conversation of what am I allowed to do as a sourcer, as a recruiter, as a leader? What am I, as an employer brander, what am I allowed to do? And the number of conversations I had, the number of speeches and presentations I saw where that was a through line was really, once you saw it, you kind of went, it is everywhere. Right? We talked about, I mean, if you were there and you could count the number of times at the end of a session, someone raised their hand and say, so how do you get buy-in for that? You'd be rich. And what is the underlying thought process behind that question? It is, I'm not allowed to do it. How did you get someone to give you permission to do that? I'm here to tell you right now that if you couch the thing you want to do, the change you want to make, the new initiative you want to bring in, the new tool set that you care about, $20 a month, $20,000 a month, I don't care. But if you couch it in terms of how it serves the business growth, whose permission do you need? Okay, look, yes, IT, comms, legal have a role. They've got a part in this. Yes. And they're there not to tell you what not to do and what to do. They're there to provide guidelines and to show you where the risks are and to give you the information you need to make the best judgment call you can. But you give you permission. You give yourself permission and your team permission to experiment, to try new things, to consider new ideas, to play around with how do we engage talent? With asking talent, what do you want? Like, honestly, based on the questions I heard, the numbers of companies that could actually go out and ask their candidates, hey, how was that experience, is pretty low. Like, you need to go through a series of approvals, of which, not the least of which is HR, because HR loves a survey. I mean, they love surveys almost as much as they like putting letters after their name. Just saying. Sorry, it was not a very happy HR conversation session. It was very TA focused, which was very empowering. I'm going to tell you that. Very, very often HR conferences are like, oh yeah, TA is invited too, I guess, right? You're the bummer that gets invited to the party. Like, well, we can't say no. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Me, I know, strange. You have permission to serve and grow the company. Do you have permission to email everything that moved, anything you want? No, because that doesn't serve the company. If we think about the role of TA as finding, attracting, engaging, exciting, empowering, and hiring the best possible people to help the company grow, which you should, because again, you're not the talent acquisition leader, you're the chief growth officer, and don't let anybody tell you differently. Okay. You are the chief growth officer. If you hire better people, if you attract better people, the company grows. End of conversation. There is no other argument here. Okay. If you are that thing, it behooves you. In fact, I would say leadership should expect you to experiment, to try new things, to not just optimize what is, but to expand, to consider, to experiment, to explore new ways. Because the truth is, the way you are hiring, the way you are recruiting, the way you are branding, almost in all cases, is 99% the same as all of your competition, which means you don't stand out, which means you sound like everybody else, which means it makes it really hard for a candidate to say, I choose this one, not that one. Instead, they go, that one offers me more money. Fine. And that's not a place you want to be. That's not a place your leadership wants us to be. Your leadership wants people who go, I would take this job at a 10% pay cut. I would totally do that. That sounds amazing. I want all of that. That is what your leadership wants. Now, it doesn't mean that they're going to give everybody a 10% pay cut, hopefully, but that is what leadership wants. So what would it take to make that happen? Well, I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of answers to it, but one of the answers that is not it is do what you've always done and do what everybody else does. That's not how it works. So what I saw at RecFest is that AI is scary. It's coming. It's here. It's everywhere. You should think of it as a tool that you should play with and experiment and try things out with. You do not need permission for 99% of the experiments that you could be making. If you want some experiment ideas, check out the little podcast called The Next Step. You're watching it right now. Previous episodes available now. And you need to embrace the change, not slowly, but to embrace the chaos. I know you think your work is chaotic as it is, and it is, in terms of hiring managers and leaders and candidates all having varied expectations and wanting different things, and you kind of being at the center of this little hurricane going, oh boy, what have I done? Calgon, take me away. Again, I'm old. These jokes are for old people, okay? Calgon jokes. That doesn't even exist anymore. Goodness gracious, where do I come up with this? I know it's chaotic. But rather than say, how do I tame the chaos? Understand that you cannot tame the chaos. You can embrace it though. You can achieve more from it. You can use it to try to experiment, try new things, find new ways to win in a very chaotic world, because that's what your job is. If you are a chief growth officer, your job is to find new ways to create growth. So you have my permission, and couch that way, I bet you have your boss's permission to experiment. Who's going to let you? You are. You are. Only you are holding you back from trying these new things, from testing new ideas, from just going to ChatGPT and asking, come up with 10 different ways to recruit a certain audience that I haven't thought of before, to see 10 different ideas, 7 of which you've already thought of, but 3 of which you went, oh my goodness, I never thought of that. And 1 of which you go, I could do that right now. And you know what happens when most people do that? Nothing. Don't let that be you. If you see an idea, whether it came from AI, whether it came from your head, whether it came from a conference, I don't care. But if you see these ideas, the person who gives you permission to try them out is you. So give yourself permission. That's how you're going to succeed. That's how you're going to thrive. That is going to how you claim your place inside the company as someone who's helping grow the company and not being a cost center. Gih. So I had a blast at RecFest. I fully intend to show up next year. I haven't decided if I'd like to speak or if I'd like to MC again. You don't understand the puddle I become at the end of the day on stage. I am just a wreck. I am a pumpkin. That much energy that for that long time is rough. It's exciting. It's invigorating. It makes me feel like I can do anything until about 4:30, in which that makes me think I can't do anything. I'm just a mess. But I do love it. So if you'd like some of this kind of enthusiasm, excitement, information about employer brand and AI, holler at me. I'd love to bring it to your company. If you'd like me to help you build your employer brand and do something amazing at your company for way less than you think, go check out employerbrandlabs.com. That's me. If you're really hot for employer branding, check out eb-af.com. That is, oh, hey, look, I have stickers. EBAF, employer brand AF. And yes, it means exactly what you think it is. Hit me. If you're in the US, find me on LinkedIn, ask for a sticker. I got some extras. I would love to send you an EBAF sticker for your laptop, your phone, your hat, your face. I don't care what you use stickers for. That's a lot of stuff. I assume next week I will be back to showing you a trick or a tool or a hint or an idea on AI. But till then, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to share, let people know, and give yourself permission to do amazing stuff. Please, please. We're all counting on you. Okay? Cool. Talk to you later.